What do these women have in common? Trying to enhance their lifestyle off the backs of the community and use racism as a defense. Let's get into the story of Marilyn Mosby.
Maximum penalty range significantly. For the perjury, she faces up to 5 years for each charge. For the mortgage fraud conviction, the max is 30 years in prison.
What's up, everybody? This is Culturally Dysfunctional. Yeah, I know. It's been a minute. Once again, it's been a minute. But I just had to get on here and talk about mortgage fraud and gifts. You know, it's not a real estate podcast, but it's about a situation with a state attorney, Marilyn Mosby. Okay. Let's talk about that. We tend to throw the race card out there for almost any and everything now. When we a lot of times get caught in doing something wrong, then we jump back to the race card for a defense. It's not that in every case. It's not that in every situation. It's your own actions that put you in that situation. But let me tell you who Marilyn Mosby is for those who that might not know or heard of the case. Marilyn Mosby was born January 22nd, 1980. Is an American politician and lawyer who served as the state's attorney for Baltimore from 2015 to 2023. Mosby gained national attention following the killing of Freddie Gray in 2015, after which she led a highly publicized investigation and unsuccessful murder prosecution of the police officer who arrested and transported Gray. Mosby was reelected in 2018 but lost her 2022 reelection campaign to Alvin Bates following her January 2022 indictment by a federal grand jury on perjury and mortgage fraud charges. The charges against Mosby stemmed from allegations that she had withdrawn money from a program designed to help people financially affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Mosby denied any wrongdoing and pled not guilty to the charges, but was convicted on 2 counts of perjury on November the 9th, 2023, and on 1 count of mortgage fraud on February 6, 2024. Okay, I noticed a trend amongst black women that's getting in political positions. You know, it's a good thing that, you know, they get these positions and you're supposedly be there to uphold the law, to correct any wrongdoing, to follow the law and not use the race card in your situations. Okay. They've mostly been getting in trouble because of material things and money for their own personal goal. Say like Fannie Willis, traveling, taking trips and vacations, and that situation there with Fannie Willis. Now we have Mosby, and we have the other mayor that was in that's in Illinois. I had a name wrote down here somewhere, but I'll get back to her.
We begin with an update to the federal case against City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby.
New documents shedding some light on just how much money Miss Mosby makes and how she spends it.
Jeff Abel has been poring over those documents. He joins us live now with the very latest. Jeff?
Well, the case against the state's attorney is becoming crystal clear, at least according to prosecutors, who in newly filed documents accuse the state's attorney of lying and denying all the way to the bank. From the beginning, Marilyn Mosby has been defiant, vowing to beat the case, which she claims is nothing short of a witch hunt.
I am innocent of the charges that have been levied against me, and I intend to fight.
But in several new court filings, federal prosecutors spelled out their case in minute detail, using Mosby's financial records, showing her paycheck increased $10,000 the year she claimed financial hardship and withdrew $90,000 from her retirement account without penalty. Prosecutors say she then used those funds to purchase 2 Florida vacation homes. In court filings, prosecutors write, the fact that she used the funds to buy vacation homes is probative of the fact that no adverse financial consequence existed in the first place.
The government's theory remains clear that the state's attorney did not suffer adverse financial hardships that would have justified what she did with respect to her lockbox retirement funds.
Prosecutors also write in detail about the $45,000 tax lien, which Mosby denied knowing anything about when applying for new loans on those Florida homes. Prosecutors wrote that Mosby's own attorneys wrote in correspondence last year that the defendant not only knew the loan had not been paid off on January 6, 2021, her counsel enclosed a copy of the ongoing installment agreement and a statement along with it that showed only a single payment had been made. In court filings, prosecutors told the judge, the reality is that telling the truth matters. The laws are written for a reason, and the defendant was required to follow them.
I'm not really sure what Miss Mosby's lawyers are doing. It feels like they're engaging in saber rattling, but without any real purpose. They're filing all these motions. They're losing every single one of them. They're losing credibility with respect to the judge. If they try this in front of a federal jury, I really think they're putting their client in a really perilous position.
Well, defense attorneys maintain that the administrator of Mosby's retirement account failed to properly advise her about what was required when withdrawing money early from her account. The trial is set to begin now in September. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
But it's been a few of them, and it's been all about material and financial gains for them. That's what's getting them in trouble. That's getting them in trouble. But they don't see any of their wrongdoing. You can't have somebody to go in position, to get in a position to uphold the law, then break the law, then use the race card for their situation to get them out of trouble, or use people that they have made friend that's in other political positions to help get them out this trouble by appealing to the people or thinking that she did no wrong. But let's talk about it.
Baltimore City Democrats largely have a negative opinion of Marilyn Mosby.
We begin with Keith Daniels and a new court filing in the federal case against Miss Mosby that shows she plans to use taxpayer money to help fund her defense. Keith?
Well, Kai and Mary, it's an order written today by U.S. District Judge Lydia Grisby. Mosby's attorneys asked for financial help using something called the Criminal Justice Act plan for the District of Maryland. And tonight, the request approved. From the beginning, City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby has claimed she's done nothing wrong. Repeated pushback on the federal charges against her, including perjury and filing false mortgage applications.
I am innocent of the charges that have been levied against me, and I intend to fight.
And tonight it appears she's using taxpayer money to help her fight. Fox 45 has learned in an order written July 5th, a federal judge has granted Mosby's request to have the court help pay for her expert witnesses in her upcoming trial. According to the court order, Mosby is financially unable, as argued by her attorneys, to obtain the services at this time to adequately prepare for trial. Taxpayer watchdog David Williams.
This is a double whammy on the taxpayer in Baltimore City.
Calls the move a blow to Baltimore taxpayers.
For her to say that she doesn't have enough money and for the judge to almost agree with that really raises a red flag. Where's the common sense from the judge saying, you make $250,000 a year, you have multiple houses, there has to be a way that you can afford this.
According to city salary records, Mosby earned roughly $248,000 last year, one of the highest paid Baltimore City employees. Still, she gets assistance from the court, which according to legal scholar Douglas Colbert, may not be that unusual.
There's a Supreme Court decision which ensures that whether you're rich or poor, that you absolutely have the right to ask the court for finances if you can make a showing that the expert witness is a necessity for your defense.
But for Williams,
you have taxpayers paying twice now, first for her salary and now to help her fund expert witnesses.
Bottom line for every criminal trial is to make sure that justice is done and to make sure that the defense has the witnesses it needs.
well, the judge says Mosby will have to pay back that money. She has to present a repayment plan to the court in 30 days. Meantime, her jury trial is set to begin September 19th. We're live tonight. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
Okay. A federal jury today convicted Marilyn J. Mosby, age 44, of Baltimore, Maryland, on the federal charges of making false mortgage application when she was a Baltimore City State's attorney relating to the purchase of a condominium. Okay. According to the evidence presented in trial in February of 2021, Mosby made a false statement in an application for $428,400 mortgage to purchase a condominium in Longboat Key, Florida. According to the evidence presented at trial, Mosby made the statement in order to secure a lower interest rate. According to the evidence presented at trial, Mosby did not receive a $5,000 gift from her husband, but rather transferred $5,000 to him, and he then transferred the $5,000 back to her. She's claiming that she suffered adverse financial consequences during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mortgage fraud, falsifying documents, gifts, taxes. Here's my, what they call my reaction to this situation. Marilyn Mosby knew what she was doing was wrong. She's an attorney. She went to law school. She's a judge. And reading these documents in her own personal life, it shouldn't have been no problem to her for her to understand what was going on. She did. She's an attorney. She supposed to read all day, every day. Cases, people, situations. So I can't see that as that she did not know what was going on, that she was given this advice by the mortgage broker. There's been plenty of people out here that have bought houses that don't have her education to understand any of these things. But when you're buying a property, okay, I'm gonna go from different points here. You're buying a property. She was short $5,000 to secure this favorable interest rate that she wanted. So she needed to get $5,000. Her husband didn't have the money. He done opened the door for himself for a situation that he didn't got himself in now just by trying to lie and defend her. But we'll get to that. Okay. So what she did, she had an account with her daughter that had the money in it. She took the money from the account with her daughter, put it into his account and had him to transfer her the money as if it was his money. A gift don't work like that.
Yeah, Mary, today's verdict came after more than 3 weeks of this trial and 6 hours of deliberations from the jury. For weeks, Marilyn Mosby and her defense team have walked into the courthouse in Greenbelt with not much to say publicly. Ms. Mosby, how are you feeling today?
I'm blessed. How are you today?
If I get caught, I'm going to participate.
And after the split verdict from the jury convicting the former town prosecutor in Baltimore City on mortgage fraud, not much from her either. Are you happy with the decision to take the stand?
No comment. No comment.
Only cheers from her supporters as her car drives away. Despite prayer circles this week from Mosby's defenders,
There's a lawyer in the courtroom. Today we're asking that you be the lawyer, the judge, and the jury. Father God bless her. And Lord,
the jury
you know
deciding
her.
Marilyn Mosby lied to mortgage lenders when she bought this condo in Longboat Key, Florida. It was this gift letter, the jury said, that sunk Marilyn Mosby. During testimony, she says her mortgage broker told her she was $5,000 short in order to clinch a favorable interest rate. So, her then husband, Baltimore City Council President Nick Mosby, says he offered to gift her the cash. During his testimony, Nick says he wanted to help. But the problem, Nick didn't have the funds. An FBI forensic accountant testified after combing through the couple's finances, the Mosbys shuffled the money around. This flowchart shown to the jury describes how it worked. It was Marilyn who actually took $5,000 she had in an account shared with her daughter and wired it to Nick. Nick then shuffled it between his savings and checking account before sending it off for the condo. From the beginning of the case, Marilyn Mosby's defense was she did not knowingly lie on the mortgage applications. Rather, she blamed Nick for hiding the mail and hiding the growing tax debt. On the stand, Nick telling the jury his comment about the $45,000 tax lien on the Mosby's home in Baltimore
Have your tax issues been resolved?
Yes, thank you.
was a lie, all in an attempt to conceal the problem from Marilyn. Marilyn also blaming her broker for omitting the tax debt on the mortgage applications, saying this box that's checked was filled out by the broker, not her. The jury seemingly believing that story, at least for one of the homes, since they found Marilyn not guilty on the mortgage fraud charge connected to the Kissimmee home. In closings, prosecutors hammering to the jury's Marilyn's criminal past in the same courtroom this trial unfolded in. Last November, a separate jury convicted Marilyn on 2 perjury counts, deciding she lied when she claimed a financial hardship to withdraw money from her retirement account penalty-free using a COVID-era exception. That money was then used to purchase both Florida properties. Maryland's federal public defender, James Wida. Mr. Wida? Staying tight-lipped after the split verdict. Several delays, 2 years, and 2 trials later. Ms. Mosby, what's your comment to the people of Baltimore? Baltimore City's former state's attorney convicted on 3 of 4 federal charges.
It don't work like that. And then a lot of times, money, dealing with banks and mortgages, money actually supposed to be seasoned in your account for at least, I think it's 6 months, to show that this is your money, or you know, there's a paper trail that you got to follow. That's how they reduce the what they call the embezzlement of money and that situation. So you can't take money from out of your mattress or somewhere and put it in an account and then try to use it. No, they need the paper trail. So when she took the money from her daughter's account, transferred it to her husband, and had him to transfer her the money, she already knew then she was doing something wrong. She knew she couldn't do that. So there's an issue right there. You knew right then that you can't do that. Okay, and that was easy to follow. That was easy to find out. And if you feel like saying that they was after your license because of the Freddie Gray situation, then why go do something to give them a reason to go after you? Okay, so now you go on all these platforms, the black platforms like Roland Martin, The Breakfast Club, Al Sharpton, and you're trying to appeal to the black people, saying that this is a racist attack, or because what you did with the police officer. You can't use that. You can't go with that. If you broke the law, you broke the law. You did it. So race don't have nothing to do with that. Now, yeah, facing up to 40 years, that's a lot of time for that situation. That's like a murder charge. That's worse than a murder charge, probably. But I don't think you're gonna get them 40 years. You might get a couple years. Still, I don't believe there should be jail time, but that's the law. But I don't agree with that. And so with you go on and you say, I took money out of my retirement account, out of my own money out of my retirement account. You can't do that either. You knew what it was when you opened the account, and there's rules and stuff that you have to follow when you get into these accounts. So it's not just your money. A lot of times when you're working for a company and you got a 401k or whatever, the company is also matching it. Or just, in your case, you with the county or whatever, however they match it or whatever, you still using taxpayer money. You make over $200,000, had just got a raise of $10,000, and you say it's for hardship, but you turn around and buy property, vacation property. That's not hardship. That's not hardship. So I know people probably want to bash me or jump on her bandwagon and saying, it's racism, this and that. But you got to understand that you can't do that. She say, this amount of people, other people done did this and they didn't get in trouble, this and that. Show that. Some people have tried it or did it, but your situation is different. It might not be the same exact way or, whatever. Show those proof. And but these women getting into power, you're doing the same thing as the other people, your counterparts. If they're in there breaking the law, you just joined them. You're not doing anything different. You're using your power, your political presence to get what you want. You said you was in there for change. You're not there to basically for your own personal gratification of enhancing your lifestyle. Buying 2 vacation homes. Now, they give your husband also, they didn't got him. They haven't went after him yet, but it's possible. He was claiming $20,000 on charitable donations. But y'all had a tax lien on the house. That's where the taxes come in. You did not put on the application that you didn't have that you had a tax lien on other property. Then you say your husband didn't tell you this. I think that's a lie too. I think you knew about it. I believe you know about it. And he's just throwing it off on him, and he's just trying to help you out because you're facing the time. And he denied several times there was no tax lien.
Mackenzie, thank you. Well, Fox 45 News first learned about the tax lien on the Mosby's home more than 3 years ago, in October of 2020. We pressed Nick Mosby on that lien several times. He repeatedly denied its existence.
Quick, you've denied the existence of your tax lien on your property multiple times.
I have not multiple times.
Can you say that this is the actual lien on your property?
You can talk to my attorney.
No, Tom, there's no lien placed on my home right now. There was never a lien on my property. This is not a lien on the property. There was never a lien that was rendered on my property. There is no lien on my property. There's never been a lien on my property. It's not a lien on my property. I don't have a property lien.
Well, Fox 45 News has been following the Mosby's financial concerns and this federal investigation since we learned about that lien. We first learned about the federal investigation in March of 2021. Federal agents issued subpoenas to several people surrounding the couple. We also learned about Marilyn Mosby's purchase of the Florida homes. Fast forward to January 13th, 2022, when Marilyn Mosby is federally indicted on 2 counts of perjury and 2 counts of mortgage fraud.
I mean, it's sad because Baltimore has a long history of corruption and our local government.
There's just a pattern of kind of saying she's a victim, and in reality, a lot of this stuff is her misbehavior on a personal level.
Mosby's trial was set for May of 2022, but it was delayed 3 times. The last delay came 1 year ago after her entire defense team withdrew from the case and she was assigned federal public defenders. The judge delayed the trial to allow Mosby's new defense team to get up to speed on the case. I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching.
But you got to understand, there's paperwork, that public records that they can get, that people can get and see this. He denied 7, 8 times that he didn't have a tax lien. Then here come the paperwork. Then he claiming to be broke. Well, he was broke. He didn't have the money. He had financial problem too. He's the president on the city councilman board. So now he come over with this $5,000, another red flag.
And Mackenzie, we know Nick Mosby opened himself up for potential legal trouble while testifying. All experts seem to agree on that. Do we know what will happen there?
Yeah, Mary, that is a big question. While he was on the stand, prosecutors made some pretty big allegations. Prosecutors claim Nick Mosby repeatedly committed perjury on his taxes. According to those same prosecutors, Nick claimed to have donated more than $20,000 to charity. And the same year, when he was behind on mortgage payments, had his car repossessed, and had his wages garnished to pay his student loans. While this whole investigation first launched more than 2 years ago at this point, federal investigators were looking at the Mosby's charitable donations. Church leaders were even questioned, but tax fraud charges were never brought. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with Nick in the future, but I can tell you we've talked to several political analysts who argue this could impact Nick Mosby's re-election efforts, especially with more scrutiny on Nick Mosby's finances as he continues to lead the city council and chair the city spending board.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope that he's handling the city's finances and being a watchdog on the city finances better than he is in his own household. That's obvious, number one. Number two, it was fascinating to me that he testified without any sort of immunity. He certainly placed himself in significant jeopardy. Federal prosecutors certainly don't take lightly to individuals coming in and admitting to significant financial crimes on the witness stand. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
For both of you to be in that position, a political position, that you got caught doing some of the stupidest thing. That was easy to get caught. So we have to do better, people. We can't just jump on the race wagon because that's all we have left in our bag of arsenals to try to defend herself. She go on the Roland Martin show or the other show, and they ask certain questions she can't answer. Her friend got to jump in and say, oh, she can answer, but she can't answer. She can't answer because you're asking a question that she don't want to have to explain. Same way in court. You already been convicted. The case is over. You're going for sentencing. Explain the paperwork. You want to throw it on the mortgage broker or whatever. You can't do that either. You can't throw it on the mortgage broker because you have the paperwork in front of you. You knew whatever was on that paperwork was a lie. And you adhered to it. Because your mind was getting that vacation home. That you wasn't going to get caught. So yeah, you got to face the consequences too. So people, stop letting people to come in that's in position that did something good or try to do something good once upon a time in their position, then turn around and do something wrong, do something bad, then use the race card. We can't do that because we're wearing it out. We're wearing the race card out. It's going to be race for everything. We're wearing it out.